We all know about cancer and common cancers. So, endometrial cancer, skin cancer, liver cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer.
Yeah.
These five cancers, people who drink coffee have a lower cancer mortality from these. So, five cancers: cirrhosis of the liver, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's dementia, the early stage of Alzheimer's called cognitive decline, low risk in coffee drinkers, low risk of type 2 diabetes. Here, both decaf and regular coffee work. And if you drink 4 to 6 cups, there's a 40 to 54% reduction in developing type 2 diabetes. And if one already has type 2 diabetes and they drink 2 cups, regular or decaf, there's a 30% reduction in cardiovascular mortality.
Beyond wine, we really care about health, the health of the planet and the health of each other. That's what inspired us to start this business. Our family of team members meets every morning for a group meditation, followed by an open gratitude session. We believe a sound mind with a focus on peace is the best instrument for change. Joint meditation is the cornerstone of our company culture, and it helps us remember what's important, spreading joy and love, just like our family growers. Our family is a collection of passionate, health-conscious individuals who love to laugh and enjoy each other's company. We eat seasonally, grow our own vegetables, cook together, and share wine. Our team is incredibly dedicated to our mission. Everything from sourcing the wines to answering service questions. Your natural wines are found and sourced around the world by our wine team. They taste every one, oversee their lab testing, and choose exactly which ones go in which box. If you order, your individual box will be packed by our incredibly hardworking fulfillment team. If you have any questions, your service requests will be handled by a wonderfully loving member experience family who only have one goal in mind, your 100% happiness. This video is put together by our talented media team, filmed and edited in-house, just like the rest of our artful media. From our unique creations to our printed lifestyle piece called A Matter of Taste. We put love into everything we do, and we hope to share it with you.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. I'm your host, Dr. Aaron Ernst, and hey, it's a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free from your health problems. I love the fact that today we get to continue this conversation about the chronic fatigue, the tiredness, the just sort of lull that so many of us deal with. I'd like to call it the invisible disease. I say that because we usually go to our physicians and we complain about how we feel. And if we talk about tiredness, it's like it doesn't show up on labs traditionally. They'll often write it off as either you're not sleeping enough or you're just getting older. And we feel the effects, but we can't really chase down where it's coming from. But I'm going to share with you today, we know exactly where it's coming from using functional medicine. Inside your body is a cell within the cell called a mitochondria. And we have to talk about your mitochondria today because they are the engine, they are the battery, they are the powerhouse for your body. So if you are chronically fatigued, if you've been diagnosed with adrenal fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, or you're just that person who struggles with their energy despite exercising and despite the right diets and sleeping well, I'm not talking about the post-lunch coma, guys. I'm talking about fatigue, the drain, like the 2 to 4 p.m. I can't stay awake, but yet strangely enough at night, I'm wired when I should be tired. These are all signs of what's known as a mitochondrial energy dysfunction. And we have to talk about your mitochondria because you can feed these the right foods, nutrients, and resources, which will turn on your energy and solve your health crisis. So, hey, is this a show where pounds are shed? Yes. And disease is dead? Of course. And you will be set free. So during this hour, I'm going to break down the top reasons our mitochondria aren't working, things we can do right now to start turning them on, boosting them, getting them a jump start, if you will. And we're going to discuss what are they? Because most people have never heard of them. Or if you have no idea what you need to do to fix them. And all during our show today, I've got an updated brand new ebook, Energy Heal Thyself. Yeah, you heard that right. You can heal your energy yourself. All you need to do is download the ebook, implement the mitochondrial makeover. There's diets and supplements and nutrients and techniques in this ebook that will give you more energy than the over-the-counter stimulatory toxic beverages, drinks, supplements, and bars. Hey, if you want the ebook, text the word energy with your name and email to 704-906-2094. And as a bonus, on Saturday, December 9th, I'm hosting an online energy masterclass. I'm going to show you how to finally, once and for all, take control, pull your energy back, boost your mitochondria, get you losing weight, feeling great, get your energy up, get your reliance on outside stimulation down, and all of it is free. The event is Saturday, December 9th. You can pre-register now, and you can grab our ebook today by texting your name and your email to 704-906-2094 with the word energy. Okay, so what is a mitochondria? All right, so they are specialized structures found in every cell of your body. In fact, some of them are in higher concentrations in things like your liver and your heart and your brain. I want you to think of it like this. If it's a vital energy organ, meaning it helps you with detoxification or it keeps you alive and functional, you need a ton of mitochondria in those organs. The only part of your body that doesn't have a mitochondria are your red blood cells. And there's a unique reason for this. They carry oxygen and they carry carbon dioxide, and those can be somewhat detrimental and harmful for the mitochondria. So your innate wisdom says, red blood cells, you don't need us, but brain and heart and liver and pancreas and organs need mitochondria. So therefore, I think you might think of it like this. If the mitochondria are your engine, then the function of your mitochondria is the miles per gallon or the efficiency of that engine. So let's look back to cars that were produced in the 60s and 70s and compare it to a 2023 or 24 current automobile. The mileage per gallon has gone up. The efficiency has gone up. We're better at building engines. But here's the thing. The greatest creator on the entire universe has built this engine inside of you, and it is the current updated 2024 engine. You just need to revitalize it. Your mitochondria replicate every single day. So the older version of your mitochondria have died off and new ones have come back. And I want you to think of your mitochondria as the gas pedal for energy. The efficiency of your mitochondria determine how hard you're pushing on the gas. Some of you will say, Dr. Ernst, I feel like I'm not pushing on the gas at all. In fact, I think I'm actually pushing on the brake. I'm tired, fatigued. I don't have any motivation. My brain is foggy. My doctor's complaining that my numbers are off balance. I don't feel well. How do I solve this? Okay. So many of us are running to vitamins for energy. You're not going to find it in certain ones like you think, right? B12. Everybody says, take B12 for energy. There's a much better one for energy. I'll share it with you today. What about the energy drinks? Well, listen, they're loaded with, I'll call it inefficient B vitamins. They're low quality. Usually it's got caffeine or other sort of amino acids that are very excitatory and stimulatory, and they might give you a little bit of energy, but they create a lot of waste. Most of them have artificial sweeteners or high levels of sugar. So if you're turning to these energy drinks, yeah, there's a much better way. Let's get your energy back by fixing your internal engine. And get the miles per gallon or miles per food component to go up, right? Fats and proteins and carbs, when consumed, have to go into the mitochondria, and your body has made a molecular engine designed to produce energy. You need to produce this at 100%. Many of you are functionally deficient, 40, 50, 60%. And when your mitochondria become deficient, it affects every single square inch of your body. Why is that? Well, listen to the major functions of what are these mitochondria? What do they do for you? And I know what you're thinking. Like, I've never heard of them. You've got to pay attention to this. Two main functions of your mitochondria, and I'm talking like the global, is they help your cells to breathe and to produce proteins and nutrients for cellular function, and they produce energy. So if you're tired and fatigued, I can guarantee you your mitochondria aren't working. If you're looking for a mitochondrial makeover, I've got the diet, I've got the supplements, I've got the nutrients. Everything for you is inside the ebook. The bulk of my show today is going to be, wake up. You have to pay attention to your mitochondria. What's causing damage to them? And the resources for correction are in the ebook. So take a moment right now, text your name, your email, and the word energy to 704-906-2094. Again, 704-906-2094. I'll shoot the ebook directly over to you. We'll get you registered for a masterclass I'm hosting on December 9th. It's an online free live event where I will literally take you step by step specific to you on how do you test your mitochondria, how do we find your efficiency percentage, what do we implement to fix it, and it's all free. You just have to take action. Now, some of you might be like, I'm so tired and I'm so brain foggy, I forgot the number. 704-906-2094. Text your name, your email, and the word energy, and we're going to get you revitalized. Okay? Mitochondria produce energy in your body. They are the key energy producers. So when you eat fats and proteins and carbs, they don't do anything by themselves. They have to be turned into energy. And what these mitochondria do is they take those micronutrients, they process them through something called a cellular engine. I'll keep it nice and clean. Technically, it's a citric acid cycle in the electron transport chain. But you probably are going like, the what? It's an engine. Fats and proteins and carbs have to crank through this engine and turn into energy. So the efficiency of your mitochondria determines your energy. Mitochondria are like batteries. They are regenerative and they can recharge, and you can turn them back on again. The other thing your mitochondria do, this is unique, is they help you with repair and regeneration of your current tissues. So if you have healthy mitochondria, you'll have youthful and vibrant and energetic muscles and organs and brain. Where the mitochondria sit in high concentrations, I'm trusting you because you need to know this, you've got to boost them, okay? The top 3 areas of concentration of mitochondria: your heart, your brain, your liver, your pancreas, your kidneys. And if you think about it, most people today struggle with organic function of those organs. If your heart's mitochondria are inefficient, it will lead to cardiovascular disease. If your pancreatic mitochondria are deficient, it leads to diabetes. If it's your brain, it's cognitive decline, dementia, Alzheimer's, neurological dysfunction. If your liver, it can be your detox pathways, your cholesterols, your triglycerides. So almost all of the health issues we deal with today could be traced back to mitochondrial function. Another thing that's unique about the mitochondria is they tell your cells when to die and replace. And so what happens is, if your mitochondria are working properly, your cells will go through a long, healthy, productive life. They'll reach their end of span, they will die, and new ones will come and replicate and take their place. So you'll constantly be getting the new car. It's like a lease. You trade in the old engine for the new one, and you do it on a regular basis, day in and day out. But if your mitochondria are inefficient, that cellular death and regeneration process doesn't happen. And they're now finding out that some of you are still running on a mitochondrial engine from months and or years prior. The cells themselves have not been replaced. This is the process of aging, decay, degeneration, and it can even be translated into things like cancers. The cells were supposed to die and be replaced with healthy. They were not. We've got these rogue cells that are highly toxic, doing things they shouldn't do, and we feel the effects. So can we turn our energy back on? Can we turn our regeneration back on? Can we go from poor function to healthy function? The answer is a resounding yes. But I'm going to teach you something. It's not found in energy bars, energy drinks, or your classic energy supplements. That's like taking that engine that's kind of like slowly inefficient and trying to pour some sort of like, fuel stabilizer or some sort of like engine booster into it when you just need to upgrade your mitochondria. When you get them working properly, they'll support your nervous system. They'll help you with energy productivity. And the neat thing is they're going to ramp your metabolism through the roof. What most people don't realize is this sluggish metabolism that we get as we age is not because of our age. It's because our mitochondria are becoming deficient. Metabolic disorders like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, thyroid, even adrenal fatigue, fibromyalgia, neurological degradation, dementia, MS, etc., are all being researched and being linked back to your mitochondria. In fact, in medicine, they now have a diagnostic condition called mitochondrial disease or dysfunction of your mitochondria. In fact, there's some recent research suggesting that if you're a type 2 diabetic, if you have elevated blood sugars, you struggle with insulin, you may actually be misdiagnosed and have something called mitochondrial diabetes. If you don't believe me, just Google it, look it up. What it means is the mitochondria in the cells of your body are having a very difficult time producing the energy needed for your insulin receptors to work. There's a lot of oxidative stress and waste because engines that are inefficient have a lot of byproducts. So there's a lot of waste, and those waste molecules can damage your cells and lead to oxidative stress, which leads to insulin resistance, which leads to improper insulin signaling. So what happens is if we start to boost your mitochondria, we tend to see your blood sugar stabilizations kicks in. Your insulin response becomes more sensitive. And we, in my clinic, have seen people break free from diagnostic conditions like thyroid, diabetes, adrenal fatigue, fibromyalgia, and even heart disease by going after their mitochondria. Okay, so what is it that causes all this damage? Why are our mitochondria not working? Is it because of our age? No. They have found some children have more inefficient mitochondria than adults, and some adults have more inefficient mitochondria than children. So your age doesn't dictate when they turn on or off or become inefficient. What does is how you've been feeding them, using them, and regenerating them. I want you to think of it like this. If you guys have ever got or purchased a rechargeable AA, AAA battery, when they're brand new and you stick them in the charger, they charge up, you use them. They charge up, you use them. You're getting good life out of them. But after a while, if you know where I'm going with this, the same battery doesn't give you the same long-lasting effect. You can charge it to 100%, but it's only working maybe an hour when it used to work 3. So that battery is showing signs of regenerative aging. And usually in that instance, you have to throw it away and get a new one. Your mitochondria are somewhat the same. So what causes them to lose their function, ready for this, is chronic inflammation, number 1. Number 2, it's the fact that you've been exposed to toxins that block the function of the mitochondria in the first place. Number 3, chronic infections in your body that are sucking the life out of your immunity and the cells and the tissues. Number 4, all the bad lifestyle habits that we've assumed and aren't correcting. And so if we fix these 4 things, you'll start to see your mitochondria come back. And I've got a strategy that works. The research shows if you follow what's called a mitochondrial regeneration diet, And I know what you're thinking. Are you going to share it with us today? It's a little involved, but the whole thing, including some meal planning, is done for you in our Energy Heal Thyself ebook. The causes of mitochondrial deficiency in the ebook. The nutrients, the supplements that will give you more energy than your energy drinks and energy bars are in here. And I'm going to tease you with today's show a little bit and give you some tips and tidbits so you can do it. But right now, listen, take the opportunity. Text the word energy with your name and email to 704-906-2094. I'll send you the ebook today. If you start implementing what's in that ebook, by the end of November, early December, you could already start to see your energy come back. You know, I get asked a lot by patients and people I bump into in, the greater Charlotte area when they hear my voice and say, aren't you that guy on the radio? The number one thing they say is, man, you talk fast and you seem to have a ton of energy. How do I get what you have? Well, number one, you've got to implement what I'm teaching you today. Number two, download the ebook so you can really implement. Number three, join us for the masterclass. I will teach you what I do for endless energy, regeneration, repair. I'll show you how patients have come back from adrenal fatigue, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, brain fog, thyroid disorders, high blood pressure, cholesterol. It sounds like it's too good to be true, but remember, your mitochondria are in every cell of your body. So if there's a region that's inefficient, you'll have the effect. If it's your brain, it's brain fog. If it's your heart, it's cardiovascular issues. If it's your pancreas, it's diabetes. If it's your liver, it's detox issues. And the effect is the cholesterol goes up, the sugars go up, the triglycerides go up, the pressure goes up, and the energy goes way down, and our weight goes up. Number one cause of why your batteries aren't recharging is you're chronically inflamed. Sadly, today, most of us are eating foods that are inflammatory. We're using products that are inflammatory, and many of you have never had real inflammatory tests done. Yes, there are blood tests that'll tell you how inflamed you are. And often what happens is it comes back and it's high, and everybody goes, I don't know what to do about this. Okay? What inflammation is the equivalent, I'll say it, of you rusting. They've actually shown the more oxidative stress, and you can test for this, that you have in your body, the more likely you have free-floating, unbound oxygen running around, and it reacts with the molecules and minerals in your body. So what happens in the presence of oxygen to iron, which we have all over our blood? Well, it rusts. What happens to calcium and what happens to other nutrients? Well, they become oxidized. And when something's oxidized, it's already leading to inflammation. So what we need to do is focus on this word that you guys may know called an antioxidant. We have to boost your antioxidation. And yes, you can find antioxidants in your foods, but when it comes to your mitochondria and your energy, here's the secret. It's not B12, it's not Rockstar energy drinks, Red Bulls, you name them. There's so many now. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. You don't get your energy from that. Here's your primary energy supplier, CoQ10. CoQ10 is the key antioxidant, and it is technically, I'll call it, an enzyme superhero because it goes into the mitochondria, it washes out all the cellular waste, and it revs the engine. Think of it as the fuel additive that you're missing, and the sad reality of today is most of us that have diagnostic conditions, we take a medication or two or three or four, and all meds deplete your body of CoQ10. So notice, we have a condition, we see our medical doctor, we get a prescription, we hope that it's going to get us well, but secretly it's driving our CoQ10 levels down, which is driving our energy productivity down, rusting our mitochondrial engines, and we wonder why we struggle to get our health back. Dr. Ernst, how much CoQ10 should I take? It's not a lot. 200 milligrams daily. I personally like liposomal delivered CoQ10. What it means is the molecule itself is wrapped in a fat membrane so that it can go straight into the cell as opposed to having to be converted and or absorbed. If you're taking ubiquinone, because I know what you're going to do. You're going to run off to your CoQ10. You're going to look at it and say, well, is this a good one? If it's ubiquinone, it's the inactive form. It has to be converted. If it's ubiquinol, it's the active form. Is one better than the other? The research shows you need both. So again, 200 milligrams of CoQ10 daily is better for your mitochondria and your energy than Monster, Red Bull, energy drinks, energy bars, and the classic B12 energy shots and drinks that people do. Look, I've got 30 seconds before a commercial looms. So 2 things. Download the ebook. It has the nutrients that are better for you and your mitochondria. It has the mitochondrial diet. Text the word energy with your name and email to 704-906-2094. It's 704-906-2094. When I come back, the next layer of boosting your energy beyond just supplements. What are the tips and techniques you can do now to turn your energy on fast? It's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Hi, my name is Gary Greenfield with Greenfield Water Solutions, and I want to introduce you to our newest product, the MR500. It's a whole house structured water filter system. It's set up in an all stainless steel multi-round filter housing. It features inlet and outlet for the water, a bleeder valve for when you're changing out the filters to reduce pressure, and to remove the top for access to the filters. We simply open up the clamp, remove the top, and this plate here holds all the filters in place. Simple to remove. It comes out, and you can see what we have on the inside here. It's 5 Aquamedics filters and a vortexing tube and a harmonizer. That's the whole system. This is designed to filter 5 gallons per minute, and all of the contaminants that it does remove are listed on the website, which is a very broad array of contaminants. These are the highest rated filters that I know of on the market that are filter cartridges. They can be changed out yearly, and of course the process is very simple. You won't have to hire a plumber to do a change out, and the filters are available from Greenfield Water Solutions. And if you want to know more about this, you can read about it on the product page or give us a call. Thanks for watching. That's it for now from Greenfield Water Solutions.
To bring you the best natural wine the world has to offer, we've designed a fully curated membership program. Every selection you receive is different and unique. Every wine is picked by our wine team, lab tested for purity, and curated into a special box for your enjoyment. So how does the membership work? We offer two main options: a half case of 6 bottles or a full case of 12. You can request all reds, all whites, or a perfect split of both. Then you can set the frequency, monthly or every other month. We offer a similar simple membership for rosé and sparkling wines. After you choose these basic options, we'll do the rest. With every box we send you, we aim to present the greatest diversity of flavors, textures, and profiles. There's a healthy mix of the classics, but also rare varietals. We do this because natural wines taste different from their commercial counterparts. We want to share the best possible experience with you so you can discover new wines you love. And you can always reorder a wine that took your heart, or ask us to avoid certain profiles. The best part is, you don't need any wine knowledge to fully enjoy these boxes. We curate our selections to be enjoyed without worry. Ultimately, this is Dry Farm Wines. We are so grateful to be able to share the power of natural wines with you.
Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. Thanks for tuning in, or if you're just joining us, welcome. It's the show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free from your health problems when you become your own doctor and educate yourself as to the underlying root cause of your health condition. Our topic of today is chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, adrenal fatigue, all the fatigue disorders that so many of us deal with. And hey, maybe you're just somebody who goes, I haven't been diagnosed, but Dr. Ernst, man, I am just tired. And no matter how much I exercise, no matter how much I sleep, no matter how many supplements I take, I can't seem to recover my energy. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's because you have not started to pay attention to your mitochondria. What do you? Yes, inside the cells of your body, you have little tiny cellular engines, and their sole job is to take the food you eat and make energy from it. And I know it sounds too simple because you're going to say, well, how come I don't have a lot of energy? It's because your engine has lost its miles per food. And I hope you understand the analogy. Like, you're becoming inefficient, and it's not because of your age. It's because the cells themselves, the mitochondria, are regenerative. And if they don't regenerate properly, you lose your efficiency. This is why so many of us, when we hit 40 or 50 or 60, just start going, man, I'm struggling with my energy. You have to pay attention to your mitochondria. And it's not going to be corrected with energy drinks or energy bars or your classic energy supplements, B12, etc. We need to go deep into the science of how these things work. What are the nutrients they need? Feed them, and they'll start to turn back around. At the top of the hour, we discussed the number one reason we're so tired is most of us are not addressing our inflammation correctly. We need to start looking at the idea of your inflammatory scores will act as a reference to saying how much rust do you have in the engines of your mitochondria. And when I say the word rust, it technically is that. It's oxidation of the DNA and the engine molecules that those mitochondria use to make energy. We discussed that CoQ10 is the vital essential nutrient needed to clean these engines out, to get them to become more efficient. And your body needs CoQ10. We can make it, but what happens is our efficiency starts to drop as we get to 40, 50, 60, and that's why the fatigue starts to kick in. Number two, most of us are so overburdened and we're depleting our CoQ10 because we take medications for some health issue. Statins lower CoQ10. Proton pump inhibitors lower CoQ10. Most medications that are prescriptive lower CoQ10. And the crazy thing is we take these medications because we're trying to fix a health issue. That was because our mitochondria are inefficient in the first place. And if we start cleaning the engines, you can start to see improvements. Dysfunctional mitochondria have been connected to thyroid disease, heart disease, liver disease, kidney disease, diabetes, cancer, fibromyalgia, and advanced aging. So if you're listening to me and you're going like, all right, Dr. Ernst, how do I do this? How do I get my mitochondria fixed? Number one, download my Energy Heal Thyself ebook. I have the regenerative diet for your mitochondria all laid out. I have the actual real supplements which boost energy in here. I've got the energy producing foods. I have everything, including the causes of inflammation, neural degradation, toxicity, and the prominence of the drain for energy. It's all described in here. The ebook is yours right now. If you want it, text the word energy with your name and email to 704-906-2094. And you can also join us Saturday, December 9th. I'm carving out 2 hours of my time from 10 until noon to take you through the testing that you should get to efficiently find out how your mitochondria are working and the techniques beyond just diet that also boost energy. The event is free. The ebook is free. Just text the word energy with your name and email and I'll send it to you. It's that simple, guys. Okay. Another component of why we're so energetically drained is we have been exposed to toxins that physically damage the mitochondria. And unfortunately, our world and our houses and our air and everything we are around is full of toxins. You'll find them in cleaning products, body products, beauty products, even things like mold in your home or cigarette smoke, the toxic candles and the fragrance agents and all the plugins and just everything, okay? Our food is heavily sprayed with pesticides and sort of waxes and residues, a lot of additives, genetically modified foods. There's heavy metals and pesticides. So you just have to recognize we live in a toxic world. And what most people are not doing is activating a targeted detoxification program to themselves. They'll do cleanses and they'll take detox supplements, but I'm talking about finding out for you, what are you high in? The neat thing is today, there are tests that can show you if you're toxic and where they're coming from so you can hone in on proper chelation, cleansing, detoxification to start cleaning them out. Some of the most toxic components that affect mitochondrial function are heavy metals: mercury, aluminum, lead, arsenic. And the average patient I meet with will say, I have never been tested for metals, especially when it comes to my health condition. And when we test most people, we find some degree of metal toxicity. And here's what happens. Heavy metals interfere with hormone receptors. All the cells of your body have hormone receptors on them. And how do you think the fats and proteins and carbs that we eat get inside the cell, to get inside our engine? We need hormones, insulin, for example, to push the nutrients across the cell membrane. We need specific nutrients, carnitine, alpha lipoic acid, to push fats across the membrane and help us to burn them. Another component of chronic fatigue for most people is the fact that though you don't know it, you have some chronic infections. The most common chronic infection that affects your energy is Epstein-Barr virus, having lingering versions of cold sores, fever blisters, or warts, the herpes and the hepatitis type things, and even some low-grade potential bacterial infections. There's a small bacterial overgrowth of the intestines that can cause leaky gut. There are yeast infections that can cause candidal overgrowths within the intestines. We can even have low-grade UTIs without knowing them. Okay, it's really important to have your body's immune system tested for strength and integrity, because if you're tired, it can be because you're shifting your energy to a weakened immune response that's under chronic onslaught. I know it might sound strange, but if you clean out your body, your immune system will say, hey, I don't have to fight these chronic infections anymore, and I can start to push my energy back towards vitality and longevity, and you will get your energy back. Again, most common chronic infections include viruses, fungus, candida, and or sometimes bacteria. The most common that we see with the bacteria is a small intestine bacterial overgrowth, which leads to gut leak and or chronic low-grade bladder and urinary tract infections. It affects more people than you realize. And often it's missed by your physicians because there won't be bacteria in the urine, yet you'll have enzymes saying there's a low-grade infection. White blood cell enzymes in the urine or esterases, etc. Okay, number 4, watch this. Poor lifestyle habits. And I think you would understand this makes perfect sense, doesn't it? The standard American diet, the high carbohydrate, low fat, low fiber diet, the fact that most of us just basically don't get out and get moving. I read a recent study. Listen to this. The average American sits for about 13 hours a day. And when you consider that we're sleeping for sometimes 6 to 7 hours a day, sometimes up to 8, if you add this together, that can be 20 to 21 hours either lying down or sitting. And the challenge with this is it creates stress, inflammation, irritation on your spine. It compresses your discs. It aggravates your nervous system, and it leads to an immobility. Look, just simply moving, we were designed to move, can start to stimulate your energy. And the problem is a lot of people who are fatigued will say, I'm so tired that I can't exercise. I know it's the chicken versus the egg. What comes first? Was it the fact you weren't doing healthy lifestyle activities that led to the fatigue, or is it the fatigue that led to the fact that you're not doing them? All I can say to you is this. If you follow the mitochondrial diet that I've given you in this ebook, and you implement the supplementation like CoQ10 and the others I'm about to talk to you about, your energy is going to start to come back by itself. Then we start implementing better lifestyle activities, going for walks, going for runs, starting to exercise, getting out in nature and just spending time in a relaxed environment. It can help your energy to start coming back. Okay, let's talk about the supplements that are stronger than the over-the-counter B vitamins for energy and the energy drinks and the energy bars, right? I'm going to go straight towards what we need to do to support your mitochondria. We talked about CoQ10 and how it is sort of the rocket fuel that gets that engine cranking because it is needed to transport the oxygen and the nutrients that you need to make energy. If your CoQ10 is deficient, you physically can't take your sugars, fats, and proteins as well as you should and turn them into energy. So we need to start working on CoQ10. I talked about, for me, I use liposomal CoQ10, 200 milligrams every single day because it's like a fuel stabilizer. Then we need to work on the antioxidants. Remember I said before, if you have a lot of cellular waste because your engine is inefficient, it has to turn over faster to try to replicate energy, then you get a lot of metabolic waste. These oxidative species can damage the tissues, they can damage your mitochondria, and they cause them not to regenerate. Therefore, your energy goes down. So what do? We focus on antioxidants. The 3 most powerful to get your mitochondria working again and boost your energy, real whole food vitamin C. not ascorbic acid. What ascorbic acid is like the car, but there's no tires, there's no engine, there's no, steering wheel, there's no person in it. It's a portion of the vitamin C. Whole food active vitamin C is going to do so much more for cleaning out your mitochondria than ascorbic acid. So be careful if you're like, Dr. Ernst, I take vitamin C. Really? Are you taking ascorbic acid or are you taking active bioflavonoid whole food-based vitamin C? Of course, the best way to get this is to eat foods that are high in vitamin C. Lemons and limes and oranges and citrus, kiwi, etc. Okay, vitamin E, major antioxidant. Selenium, by far one of the most deficient nutrients I see in our patient base, and yet it's the most profound when it comes to energy productivity and hormone productivity. Selenium is needed for thyroid activation, and healthy thyroid response will turn your mitochondria on. It generates energy. You can get your entire day's worth of selenium out of eating just a few Brazil nuts. Can you supplement with these things? Yes, but I'm a bigger fan of whole food nutrient sources. N-acetylcysteine. Okay, guys, this is a unique one. If you can get upwards into the neighborhood of 1,200 to 2,000 milligrams a day, it acts as an antioxidant directly for the administration of energy to your mitochondria. It's also a precursor for glutathione, and glutathione is another major antioxidant. Be careful taking glutathione because it's broken down in the stomach and it'll break down into its individual components and you won't have the glutathione you thought you have from swallowing it. So we take N-acetylcysteine to boost the antioxidation and to enhance glutathione productivity. 1,200 up to 1,500 milligrams a day can give you a greater detoxifying energy boost than anything else. L-carnitine or acetyl L-carnitine. Some people call it ALC. Some people call it simply carnitine. All the same thing. Here's what's unique about acetyl L-carnitine. It helps to transport fatty acids directly through the cell membranes and directly into the mitochondria. The unique thing about fats is it makes 2.5 times more energy than carbohydrates by volume. So 1 gram of carbohydrates, 1 gram of fat, you'll get more energy productivity out of fat. And many of you have a hard time shuttling the fats into the mitochondria simply because of an acetyl L-carnitine deficiency. This nutrient also helps with improving neurological function. It's responsible for nerve regeneration and the conduction of energy across your spinal nerve system. So if we use the acetyl L-carnitine or just simply L-carnitine, I want you to think of it as like it's a power push. So we have the antioxidants, vitamin C, vitamin E, selenium to clean out the, I'll call it metabolic waste, to get the exhaust out of your cells. We use CoQ10 to physically stimulate the turning of your mitochondrial engine. We use N-acetylcysteine to boost glutathione, and that's going to help to create more antioxidation, get rid of the oxygen species. We boost the L-carnitine, which will help to improve the function and productivity, the electrical conductivity, so you can actually make energy. And then we can use alpha lipoic acid. Here's the unique thing about alpha lipoic acid. It activates CoQ10 inside the mitochondria. So you can take CoQ10 and sometimes say, I don't feel the effect. You add alpha lipoic acid to CoQ10, boom, it's like rocket fuel. So if we use these specific nutrients, it is more targeted to the fact that we're focusing on your cellular engine rather than doing artificial chemical stimulatory energy, caffeine and taurine and green tea, right? And sugar and B vitamins, okay? Multi-billion-dollar industry right there. The unique thing when you look at the supplement industry with these guys, it's not as much. But if you understand the basic bioscience of your mitochondria and you follow this regimen of nutrients, you will see greater effects. You'll see energy starting to come back. If you download our Energy Heal Thyself ebook, which you can do right now, text the word energy plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. The mitochondrial regeneration diet is in here. And what's so unique about it is it's a combination of specific nutrients that feed your mitochondria and get rid of the oxidative stress and the inflammation. Okay, I've got a couple minutes left, so I want to show you 2 or 3 little tidbits, all right? I'm going to talk more about this on our masterclass, so make sure you join us here. But I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but infrared and far infrared therapy, where you're bathing your body with red light, has been shown to increase mitochondrial function because it activates something called cytochrome C oxidase. It's an enzyme that is sort of needed to help the energy productivity. And what's unique is it's stimulated by light. Can sunlight do this? Yes, but specifically the red lights that are in the sun, because the sun is all different spectrums of light, but the red itself is what physically stimulates your mitochondria. This is why so many people will go to infrared beds, or they'll buy infrared lights and shine it all over their body. By doing this, you improve the cellular function of your mitochondria. You enhance the ability for you to get rid of the oxidative stress. You physically stimulate your engine of the cells of your body with light. And this therapy called infrared therapy has also been shown, ready for this, to accelerate wound healing, increase the ability for you to regenerate muscle tissues, recover your energy, and get rid of cellular debris and waste. So something as simple as doing red light therapy can drastically boost your mitochondria. You may have heard this, but this concept of taking a cold shower, forcing yourself to sort of freeze for a couple minutes, helps to boost your hormones and boost your energy. Well, there's truth to this. This type of cold exposure somewhat forces your body to say, hey, muscles, you're going to have to contract real fast to start shivering and quivering. And that requires your mitochondria to be recruited to produce the energy needed for that. So I want you to think of it as like you're trying to sort of rev the engine of your body. How do we do this? Well, as you're taking your shower and you're finishing it out, here's my challenge to you. Crank it all the way down to as cold as you can get it. And try to stay there for 5 or 10 or 50 or 30 or a minute. And trust me in this, it stings and burns when you do it at first. But it's a simple technique that you can start to rush the cellular energy to your mitochondria. The reason for this is it does induce a little bit of shivering because it's cold. It forces your mitochondria to give you energy to make the muscles do the shivering. But here's the secret, guys. It activates what's called your brown fat respiration. Brown fat is a specific type of fat in your body that's extremely high in mitochondria. That's why it's brown. And if you stimulate the mitochondria within there, it activates thermogenesis. It's a natural technique that your body will use to warm itself back up. And if you do it every day, what it is like you're feeding your mitochondria energy, saying, hey, turn on now in the morning. Rev up. So that as I go throughout my day and I follow my mitochondrial diet and I use my mitochondrial nutrients for boosting, you can have so much energy that your body starts to heal and regenerate and rejuvenate. And people will ask you, how are you doing this? Just like they ask me, how do you have all the energy? Well, we understand the basics of how your body works, where your energy comes from, the fact that these mitochondria are somewhat in you, starving, saying, hey, if you could just clean me out, I'll take care of you. If you would just give me the nutrients I need, I'll feed you with energy. And we just need to activate them. I hope you found today to be helpful, informative. I know it gets a little heady sometimes because we're talking about things you've never heard of. That's why I'm recommending download the Energy Heal Thyself ebook. Infographics, details, pages upon pages of information on what you can do to stimulate your energy, begin cellular regeneration and healing. Simply text the word energy with your name and email to 704-906-2094. I'll send it to you today. And guess what? You'll get access to our Energy Heal Thyself Masterclass. I'd like to get to know you better. I'd like to see what's going on with your health. And if we can help you to find the underlying root cause, boost your mitochondrial energy, detox your body, clean it out, activate your nervous system, get the energy flowing through your brain and spinal cord, I have seen people bounce back from diabetes, heart disease, fibromyalgia, adrenal fatigue, chronic fatigue, you name it, diabetes, pick a condition. You guys can bounce back from them. Take a moment right now, text the word energy with your name and email, and I hope to see you at our future radio shows and on our event on December 9th. Thanks so much. Be blessed. Have a beautiful day.